Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday, y'all. Welcome to Mission for Mental Health. I'm your host, Jackie Robinson. I can't believe I'm having internet issues during the intro. Like, what in the world? It's probably because I didn't think about it until just now, but because your girl has put up 50 million thousand Christmas trees, I hid the modem behind one of the trees, and maybe that's the reason why everything's running slow. But y'all got to bear with a sister today. Oh my God. Y'all know how I am about these Christmas trees, y'all. But hey, y'all, welcome. I'm glad that you guys are on. I missed you. It's been like 2 weeks. I'm so glad to have you back. I got guests coming up back to back, so I'm feeling excited. But happy Wednesday. So I got a good one for you all today. I have a girl all the way from Cali. Yes, y'all know your girl's from the West Side, so we got to bring it to you from the West Side from time to time. So it's only 5:30 where she is, y'all. 5:30, 5 o'clock where she is. So I appreciate her for giving me her time. So I'm going to bring her on. She has some great information to share with you all today. So I'm going to bring her on. Let's see, Jennifer. Let's see. There she goes. Hey, girl.
Hey.
How are you?
I am great, other than this headache that's been killing me for the last 2 days. The weather's been crazy, so I'm rolling with it.
Right. Looks like we all are. Like, this weather has been just off the chain. People are sick left and right. I mean, it's crazy. I think that it's what do they call it? El Nino. The weather is like this unpredictable weather. Like many years ago, we used to have all the seasons, and now we just don't know what we're gonna get.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Climate change.
Well, I am so glad that you were on, and I know it's a little early for you. It's late for us out here on the east side. It's 8 o'clock, but I know it's 5 o'clock for you. It's probably still light outside out there where you are.
Yeah, but I'm usually in bed by 8 because, girl, I'm an early riser. So
well, that's good. By 8, like it's matter of fact, when I finish with you, I'm about to go and, like I said in my intro, finish fooling with these Christmas trees. I put up 1 million Christmas trees in this house. You would think I have a mansion. I don't have a mansion. I just like Christmas, so I just put up all the trees. So when I finish, take this makeup.
I have 3 up already.
Oh, okay, so you get it. You understand. You relate. Yes, you relate. So, y'all, this is Jennifer Kelly, all the way from Cali, y'all. She has some information. I want to read her bio. Soon to be Dr. Jennifer Kelly. She is not there yet, but she is Right here, y'all. So soon to be doctor. The next time she comes on, we were just talking off screen about the next time I'm going to bring her on because she is doing some research on schizophrenia right now, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm preparing a slideshow just on schizophrenia, the negative, positive symptoms, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I said I wanted to bring her back because you all know that's how all this came about in my life. Schizophrenia was the diagnosis that they gave me. So anyway, let me read her bio, you guys. So when I created this flyer for us, I included your quote. And you said the world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you. Carl Jung.
Yeah.
So I included your quote in your introduction. She says, I am Jennifer Noel Kelly. I currently work as a program manager at ABA, Applied Behavior Analysis Company. I work with people of all ages on the spectrum with or without comorbid formal diagnoses. My caseload generally consists of about 15 to 20 clients with varying developmental and behavioral disorders, such as autism, um, ADHD, and ODD. However, um, however, a comorbid formal diagnosis is not always necessary to receive services. So you don't necessarily have to have a diagnosis to receive her services. But she has all her information because I do have people who watch on the West Side too. They come back and watch. My role is, in short, is to identify the function of maladaptive and aberrant behaviors and create a treatment plan with intervention strategies to either reduce, replace, and or shape these behaviors, increasing this client's social independence and self-advocacy. Because everyone wants to be able to live on their own. Everyone wants
Right.
diagnosis or not. People want to be independent.
Exactly. So really, I mean, when we talk about behaviors, technically, like maladaptive isn't really the right word I should be using. I should be using adaptive.
Adaptive, yeah.
Because this
People
is the way
want to
they're adapting to their world.
correct. She also, I'm gonna talk like I'm her. I also develop parent training materials and teach parents how to co-regulate and assist their children in whatever behavior related developmental deficit. So she helps people like me deal with children who have or have not received a diagnosis.
Mhm.
Also, I am in my 9th course in traumatic studies certification with the Trauma Foundation led by Dr. Bessel Van Der Kolk.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Yes.
We won't mess that up.
I'll plug him in. Wrote this wonderful book, The Body Keeps the Score.
That's right. So we'll have information about Dr. Van Der Kolk's book. That being said, I feel like ABA, which is the Applied Behavioral Analysis, ignores a lot of the underlying conditions, uh, adverse childhood experiences, and family history. Therefore, I am dedicated to being a lifelong learner in the field of neuro psychopathology.
Yes.
She's always going to be trying to figure out what's wrong with our
You're
brain.
always learning. I never
Always learning. Before my work in this field, I was a courtroom clerk responsible for creating the official record for high-profile felony, misdemeanor, civil, and family law cases. During my time in this field, I observed numerous behaviors and read many psychiatric mental health reports. Example, sexual violent predators. Oh, you worked with sexual violent predators?
We
Oh
did
my
some
God.
of those, yeah, those commitment orders and things like that, where they'd have to come back,
Yeah.
in court and have their hearing to see if we needed to send them back to the hospital or, yeah.
So you worked with trying to develop a competency.
Right. Yeah. It's years ago. Gosh, that was back in 2000, I think.
Well, and then the next line says, and mental competency reports, etc. I co-wrote the death penalty. This is interesting, y'all. I co-wrote the Death Penalty Appeals Manual for the Court Clerks Training Institute at Stanford University and appeared in a few vignettes for training clerks on how to de-escalate behaviors in the course of court business. Y'all, she's smart, y'all.
And it
In
was
this
something,
role,
it was something that was really just intriguing to me. I kind of made it a game in my early career at the courthouse because nobody's happy to go there, right?
Right.
Everybody's already uptight and upset, you know.
Right.
Gosh, I got this ticket, I gotta pay.
Right.
So I just was like, you know, how can I make this fun for me, right? You have to enjoy what you do. Otherwise, why do you do it? Right. So I started thinking, getting ahead of it. And by the end of it, the person would leave hopefully with a smile on their face and a better understanding about what we do. But I honestly would pull up, like they'd be unhappy about the amount they would have to pay for a ticket. So I'd pull up and show them exactly where their money went. This bucket is for, you know, DUI programs. This bucket is for helping, you know, this advocacy, you know, so your money's going to good places, you know.
Right.
And if you think
and you
about
said on here that you co-wrote the Death Penalty Appeals Manual.
So I co-wrote, what I did was I co-wrote, and I did a lot of things for the court on the back end, right? Mm-hmm. So whenever there's like a training manual or something like that, that's pretty much what that was I co-wrote how do you process a death penalty case in the clerk's office. Wow. And then it went to Stanford and we would train all the other clerks how to process a death penalty. Right. And then also just to make the courts more efficient, with the IT services, writing a script so that we work smarter, not harder, right? That's one of my supervisors, one of my mentors said that recently. I'll always do that. I'll pull a tagline or quote you if it's something that's stuck with me in history, I'm going to remember it, right? Right. So I love all my little air quotes, but the whole thing is reflection is a luxury. It takes time, right, to reflect on our behaviors and what we've done, to understand, was it a good choice? Was it a bad choice? Right. And sometimes when you're in that moment, you don't have that time, that luxury to reflect and decide on what you want to do. But yeah, so going back to the court system, trying to work smarter, not harder. What was happening was, you know, I would try to find ways to decrease the work that we did, the monotony of it. Right. And you know, work smarter. So I did things like wrote scripts on how to get the computer to spit out all the probation violations so we wouldn't have to handwrite them out. Just little things like that, thinking outside the box. Right.
Okay. And so do you also say, in this role, I'll develop a passion for understanding behavior, but also desire to do more to help people? And so she looks forward to sharing her knowledge today, and she is going to share her knowledge. She has a PowerPoint that she created for us to help us understand behavior. I'm sure, you know, you just mentioned a behavior in a split second. I'm sure there's like a whole jail full of people who wish, you know, I was able to control my behavior in that split second. Sometimes we were just recent. Actually, we were talking about that at work today about, you know, some people describe defendants as good, like he's a good person or she is a good person. But in that moment, they made a horrible decision, acting on emotions, acting on feelings, and made a horrible decision. Right.
Yeah.
Comes with maturity, learning how to manage your emotions. Emotions are hard to manage.
And it's something that we learn over, you know, by mistakes, by experience, right? Right. And the thing is, and I'll quote another supervisor, you can't be tested on things you haven't learned. If you haven't learned that's, not to touch the hot stove,
right,
then you're not going to learn. You
right,
can't be tested on knowing that the stove is hot.
right.
Okay, let's dive into this. So behavior breeds behavior. And what does that look like? Nowadays, caregivers, I don't call parents anymore, because it could be anybody that's a caregiver. It doesn't necessarily have to be mom, dad, it could be a teacher, whoever, is influencing that growing mind in that moment. So I have these pictures of all different kinds of people, men and women included, sisters, brothers, doctors, whoever can be a caregiver to somebody. So there are 4 functions of behavior, why people do what they do. And these are the behaviors that we see, right? So I have here a picture of an iceberg. These are the 4 kinds of behaviors that we can see above the surface, right? Below, you can't really see what's going on. But what I want to do is share with you, this is a kiddo, and, I see a lot of parents sharing their videos on YouTube, and they're like, asking for help. What do I do with this kid? So here's one of the videos, and it's really short. But what I want you to do is think about what is the function of this kid's behavior. So I'm going to go ahead and play it here.
Get your seatbelt on, please.
Now, he put the seatbelt on, right?
Right.
He did what mom said to do. He's still crying. So I'm not quite sure, okay, what made him cry to begin with, because we didn't see what happened before he started crying, right?
Right.
So I have no idea why this kid's crying. But mom says, put your seatbelt on. He did. So now I want you to pay attention, though, to not only how this kid's reacting, but how mom responds and what he does after what mom says, okay?
Okay.
I'm not. Tanner, stop it. Please stop it. I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2. Tanner. Do you want to go home and go to bed?
Okay. So there, what is she doing? Stop it, Tanner. Stop it. I'm going to count to 3. Okay. What is that doing for him? Is it making him stop? It's not, right?
Well, he hasn't stopped yet.
Yeah, he hasn't stopped. He's not listening to her. And in fact, when she said stop, he went, even louder, right? It kind of increased a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what she's doing is what we call, she's adding to the environment. She's almost pouring gasoline on the fire that's already burning, right? Let's see.
Then stop it. Okay, I'm going to count to 3. If I get to 3, you're going to bed. 1. Okay, you're going to bed.
Your Google Home isn't set up yet. To get started, download the Google Home app on a phone or tablet.
We do not act like that.
Okay, so we see that she told him to stop. He didn't stop. She gave him a 3-second warning, thinking, but there was no or what, right? I'm going to count to 3, but what was the consequence? She didn't say.
Well, she said he was going to bed.
Exactly. And then I'm going to put you to bed when I get to 3. Then she got to the 3, 2, 1 and didn't follow through.
Right.
Right. So what did he learn? Nothing other than I'm not being heard. My needs don't matter in this moment. I am distressed. I'm upset for whatever reason. And mom is just threatening me. Basically, if you don't stop, I'm going to put you to bed. If you don't do this, I'm going to take something away. So she's using a lot of punishment, right?
Right.
Taking things away from him, or, making him go to bed, shutting him down. So what I would recommend in that case, right, is not to engage with the kid, because that's obviously making him, especially with a threat, because that's going to make him increase. He wants control of that moment. He wants somebody to listen to him, maybe. Right. So what I would do.
It sounds like he's throwing a tantrum to me.
It is, but we'd have no idea what it's about.
Right.
And at that point, he probably forgot what it was about.
Right.
If you think about it.
Right.
So engaging with him is only going to increase that crying and the screaming and the tantrum behavior, because you're not offering him anything really of comfort. And number two, that's his mom. That's his person of safety. So not only now are you throwing threats at him, but I'm the person he's supposed to rely on as my comfort. And now she's taking that away from me too. So in this case, whatever the function of his behavior was, putting more gas on that isn't going to help it. So how do we redirect that, right? And so in his case, he could be, right, seeking attention.
He could be.
Right? Maybe he wanted access to something. Maybe they were at the store and he said, Mom, I want this toy. And mom said, no, you can't. Right? So he started tantruming. Maybe he didn't even, he's at school. Maybe she's taking him to school and he doesn't want to go to school. So it could be that he's escaping or wanting to avoid the classroom. And then this fourth function here is called sensory input. And this one is what is here beneath the iceberg. So these are some things that we don't necessarily see, right? So like you don't see my head hurting and I could have a headache, right? But so my crying could be, oh my gosh, I have this headache. It hurts so much. And that's why I'm crying. This kiddo, maybe he can't tell me that he's got a headache or that something is hurting him, but the crying is telling me something's wrong, right?
Right.
So I should pay attention to that. What we want to do is be curious with them, help them to figure out what's going on instead of giving attention, right, to that behavior that we don't want.
Right.
Let's let them help us. Gee, it looks like you're feeling very upset, right? I'm identifying with him what he might be feeling. I don't know yet, but I'm curious about it. Right. Are you able to tell me, right? So just that acknowledging that you see the discomfort might have helped de-escalate that kiddo to where he's able to
even with the child. It said on there that he this was an autistic child. Would that work with an autistic child as well, or is it some other thing?
Right, depending on the situation. Any kid can tantrum. This kiddo, now it says that he was autistic, and maybe it was sensory overload. That could be another thing too. But every kid is gonna eventually, have that moment where they need to make a choice, and we're supposed to be there to kind of help guide them in that. So in that case, I don't know what happened before, but I know what we should have done to de-escalate that, if that makes sense. And what the mom was doing was absolutely what you don't want to do. Because you're just going to keep increasing that. Like, good luck having that kid calm down if you're just going to keep on, being like the principal on The Breakfast Club with Bender, threatening, making threats, right? Because what does he want? He wants control. He's not in control right now, but that's what he would like is, I need to be heard. I need, something's wrong, what have you. So those are the 4 functions. And then this bottom one here that I touched upon was the sensory input, right? So that's the one beneath the surface. So like I said, he might seek his preferred conditions, which for autistic kids, if it's a sensory overload, it might be that the school that he goes to or wherever mom was taking him was going to be too loud. And he was overloaded with the noise, right? So when he wants to go to that preferred condition, and maybe that's, a sensory tent or with a heavy blanket, something, maybe he needed just a hug from mom to feel better or to calm him down. Some kids I know wear headphones, anything that's going to help, get that regulation going so that they're not, overloaded. Their senses aren't overloaded.
Right.
So let's move on now. Oops. Okay. So now we're going to look at beneath the iceberg. And what I like about these sets of videos here that I'm going to show you is you don't always need words to understand what's going on around you, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And these are internal. So, and they can be intrinsic. You're going to go and want to seek out that preferred condition when you're dysregulated and know who the comfort and safety person is in your environment, right?
Right.
So this first one here is really cool. And it's through the Institute of Washington, at Washington. And what's interesting about this is this kid here, the woman is she's showing her things, and the tone of her voice is very comforting. And then what happens is they'll have an emoter come in, and what the emoter is trying to do is change that emotion of the child, like induce that emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she has a whole different personality about her. So let me share and let's see what we can see what the function of this kid's behavior is.
There's something inside. Can you see what's inside the box? You can take the lid off.
So he's smiling, he's happy, he's engaging.
Is there something in there? There's a green cone. You want to put it back inside the box and put the lid back on the box and close it up. Can I see that? Thank you. Let's see what else we have. Look at this. See? Look at this. There.
Now here's the emoter that enters.
Hi, Teresa. I'm going to sit here and read a magazine. Okay. That's Kelly. Kelly's going to sit and read a magazine.
And the baby probably has no idea what she's saying, but the tone.
Look at this.
That's aggravating. That's so annoying.
Oh, I thought it was really interesting.
Well, that's just your opinion. It's aggravating.
Here.
So now the baby is thinking twice, right? He's like, I don't know if I should do that because that
Right.
emotor have that angry, like,
Can I see that? Thank you.
whereas before when the lady presented the toy, he was all over it, right?
Correct. Yeah. Very involved. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
So the reason why I like this one is because the way we present ourselves, right, in these kids' environments makes a difference. If we come at them with, a bunch of demands and no play and, not letting them be kind of who they are and kind of curious, we're shutting down. We're not allowing them to kind of make those natural mistakes so that we can teach them the right way, or a better way, the more appropriate way to get something or communicate or socialize, right? Because all we know is our own experience
Correct.
to
So,
compare it to.
so I parent the way I was parented.
Exactly.
I parent the same way I was parented, and I think I turned out fine.
Right?
And and most of my kids turned out fine. And our parenting wasn't always, when we got in trouble, it wasn't okay. So tell me how you're feeling, or we weren't doing that,
Right.
but we turned out fine.
Yeah, exactly. And so what I'm getting at is every child, every person has their own experience to compare their life to. And the thing is if we don't allow them to share that experience and we're continually telling them, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, instead of talking more about it, what's happening? They're grabbing their phone and they're going to something that's not aversive, that's not going to tell them not to do that. And then what are they learning then? Nothing. They're not getting any social skills because they've shut down and they're going into themselves more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we would take that phone too.
Exactly. I saw on Bill Maher.
Since we pay for it, we would take that phone too.
Yeah, on Bill Maher, he was just on last Friday. He was talking about having a school where there's no phones or something like that. You can't bring the phone to school. And what would that look like?
That would cause kids to have to communicate with one another like they used to back in the day.
Right, exactly. And that's what we should encourage, people to share their experience without judgment, because that's how we make a rainbow, right? I mean, it's a complex world we live in, and there's full of different colors. And I want to know what your experience is, because I don't know. Right. I want to know what your life's like. I don't have anything to compare it to, because I don't have, I only have my own experience, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So it's important that we want to hear about other people's cultures and backgrounds and histories, right, so that we can better understand everybody. And not only that, it opens up like so much more creativity and new ways to do things and just learn, right? Mm-hmm. This one here, speaking about learning new things. So we all have our little routines, ways we do things, right? Just right. Like you said, my mom or my parent parented me this way, and this is the way it's always been done, and this is the way I'm always going to do it, right? I came in okay, let's not change anything. So what happens is we could create some little quirks with that. And like this little kiddo here. Now you would think this is not a good thing, but let me just let you watch this and see what goes on here.
He's been diagnosed with OCD. Here is one example.
I told you to open this.
I did open it.
No, you didn't.
It's open.
No, it's not.
This is open. Look.
So he thinks it's not open. It clearly is open.
Right.
But there's one little piece of the wrapper still on the edge.
Oh, Lord.
So it's, whoops. So it's not all the way open.
Look,
Right.
it's open. There's chocolate pudding right there.
Look, sis, it's not open.
You mean this right here?
No, right here.
Right here?
Yeah,
You want me to take this off?
this off.
This.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to eat it if I don't take it off?
You do take it off. You can.
It's completely open, Raphael. You can eat it.
Not yet.
Yes,
See,
yes,
this
yes,
is
yes, you can. No, you can eat it right now.
not yet. See, this is shut.
No. Look,
Don't pick it out.
And that just
You're not gonna
really
take it
upset
out.
him that
It's
she
open.
did that.
if
She put her finger in there. Oh,
You're not gonna do that in the chocolate pudding.
Look,
No. You don't do that in the chocolate pudding.
get your spoon and put it in there.
Ah,
I got it.
sorry.
Yeah, now
Technology.
eat it.
Not yet. After I open it.
So I'm not going to finish that one. I didn't realize I put the whole video in there. But so this kid is obviously presenting one of the behaviors beneath the iceberg, right? This is an intrinsic, a preferred condition of his. Is it really bad? Is it wrong that he wants the whole thing off? I mean, I don't know. So, I mean, when we look at like problem behaviors or adaptive behaviors, you know, I would ask Mom, was like going over that over and over and over, because it just seemed like they were arguing, right?
right. And, you know, and oftentimes we don't respond, as parents, we don't respond well to that tone.
Mhm.
But I think that also if you're dealing with a child who has a diagnosis, you may look at things a tad bit different. Because this is not the first time she's dealt with something like this with him. That's why she's recording him. That, you know,
Right.
he has OCD, so he is very particular about everything. Like, if one little thing is going to irritate him, so you may want to just go ahead, and if that's his little issue, that little piece, I probably would have took that thing away and opened up a whole nother one and just gave it to him, just so I don't have to go through this, you know. But yeah, I mean, because of the diagnosis. But a kid who doesn't have the diagnosis, could be a little challenge, because we're going back and forth, and I personally don't like to do the back and forth with kids. I don't
Right.
like it.
Right. So I just
I'm not
think
good
don't.
at it.
Yeah,
I'm not good at it.
Yeah, so don't. It's like if you see, it's like the kid's running from you. If you're chasing your child, or the child is running from you, if you chase him, do you think he's going to turn around and come back? Like,
Right.
no, he's going to keep running.
Right.
So, so that's the thing about, you know, like I say, there's times when we don't really need to respond, right? Or argue or engage in that. But like, instead, just be curious, you know, be curious and let them be curious, and let them know, hey, you know, geez, I understand, like, wow, what can we do about this? And then like just empower them to like fix their own problems, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Instead of trying to fix it for them. because I feel like the more we tell them, don't do that, this is what you have to do, they're not understanding the reason behind why. Like, why do I have to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're not given that time to reflect either about what it is that they're actually doing that's good or bad. And then again, good or bad is subjective. You know, what's good for me may not be good for you. You may not, you know, enjoy, you know, so I'm trying to think of something that's good, that's not really good for you. Or bad, that's not really bad for you. Like, like a glass of wine, for example, you know, hey, it's not bad for you.
I'm talking about my wine.
In moderation, right? But 1, 2, it could be a problem. If you have too many.
Yeah, so, if I do it every day, that could be a problem.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So we need to teach them to kind of be mindful.
But we do,
right? They can't be tested on things they have not learned. If we haven't taught them how to cope and taught them how to redirect themselves and behave, then that's on us as the adult. We can't expect a child to understand something they haven't quite even developed yet the skill for. I mean, some adults haven't even developed the skills. This last one I want to show you because, and I'm not going to play the whole thing. I can't believe it put the thing on here. And maybe I won't play this one. But anyways, this is a dance mom video. And I don't know if you've ever watched the Dance Mom lady, but she's very demeaning to these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I've heard of her, but I've never really watched her show. I don't do a whole lot of reality TV, but I have heard of her before.
Yeah. So this one. There's a girl on here, and she. Here it is. Here. So here's a little girl, and she messed up her dance.
You should remain on stage and continue dancing. It was humiliating for me as a teacher, number one. And number two, she should be humiliated.
So mom does a good job, like, it's okay.
You're beautiful for what you did too.
Encouraging her.
Yes, you did. I even missed my tongue.
You were perfect.
Don't worry about it, Paige. It's a dance. Who cares? So what is my fault? I know. But it's not your fault that it was messed up. Right? Don't you agree with me? You got your music last night at what, 8:30? And went home and went to bed, and we're expected to rush in here and complete it. You want to go home? We can't go home.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there because that's all you needed to see. But so the mom does a really good job, you know, co-regulating with her daughter. Like, hey, you know, it's okay. You know, these things happen and messed up, blah, blah, blah. You know, you barely got the dance, and she's explaining it, you know, like, let's be curious about why you made the mistake. It's because of this, right? And those are rational reasons versus what the coach said. She should be humiliated, you know, kind of thing. But what should have happened too is this is mom. And as mom, that's the child's main comfort and safety.
Right.
When the girl expressed, I want to go home, mom says, no. In that moment, why not? Why not take the child home?
I probably wouldn't have took mine home either. I don't want you to, things happen, and let's work through what happened. It's okay. You know,
So persevere.
so instead of running, we're not going to run. Things happen. We're going to work through this, and we're going to be just fine. It kind of builds up a little resiliency because the world doesn't always allow you to run. So that's not a behavior that I would want to create.
Exactly.
Every time
So there's
things get
two perspectives, two ways of looking at it, right?
right.
Right?
We would have stuck it out, and we would have cheered on the next group, and we would have, you know, it is what it is, and it's okay. You know, you're okay, and it's okay for you to feel the way you're feeling. We've all screwed up, you know.
And that's what's important, right? It's not trying to tell her it's okay, because that's telling her what her experience should be, but it's clearly not okay with her. So what we want to do is say, hey, let's be curious about this. It makes sense that you're not feeling okay because this, and this, you were, you messed up, you didn't get the things. And it makes sense that you feel this way, but it's going to be okay. And then just exactly what you said, right?
Right.
Listen, but because you did a great job listening to because you listened to her and said, but let's do this, And then what if she would have kept saying, no, I really still want to go home. I still want to go home. I still want to go home. Would you still have made her stay?
Probably.
Yeah. And then, and that's okay too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're still there, you're holding her hand, you're comforting her, and you're right there with her, and you're letting her know that, hey, we're going to get through this together. And that's another way of acknowledging her needs, and that's all that matters. So there is no right or wrong, right?
Right.
And that's why we as parents need to stop judging other parents for the choices that we make.
Yeah, now I do agree with that. Yeah.
Right?
I don't like parent bashing.
Exactly. Like, oh, she shouldn't have done that, or this is because in the moment, you don't have the time to reflect. And so as a parent, give yourself a break.
Right.
You did the best that you could with the skills and the resources that you had in the moment.
Right.
You only know as much as what your experiences. And then again, like I say, this is why we need to come together more and talk about these things, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And not only that, it's good for the kids to see us do that. It really is, that we can talk to each other and share different perspectives on different things, in different ways, because not one way is going to be the perfect way.
Correct. Parenting is not perfect.
It's not perfect. Mm-hmm. And who wants that anyways? If we were all perfect, we wouldn't need each other.
Correct.
So now we're going to talk about the ABCs of behavior. So the A is for antecedent, and this is what's happening just before the behavior starts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like you are going to the store and Johnny sees a toy and you tell him no, right? So the thing that happened before the behavior is you telling Johnny, no, you can't have the toy.
Correct.
Right? You saw the toy. So then the behavior happens, and that could look like a tantrum, right, or, throwing things, or he runs away, elopement, or he starts hitting himself, SIB. And that's a whole nother PowerPoint I should go over, is self-injurious behaviors. And then what happens after is the consequence.
Correct.
Well, what did you do after that happened? Did you spank them? Did you put them on timeout? What did you do? And then did the behavior go down or did it increase? And then that's when you know that what you did, whether that was a good choice or not so good. So one of the books that I like is Beyond Behaviors by Mona Delahouque. And she does a really good job showing us the iceberg and the different behaviors that we don't see. And one of the things that I like about her book is she's got the little the clothespin as an example.
What was her last name again? Mona
Delahooke. It's DELAHOOKE. And I want to give a shout out to her because she's just recovering from a brain aneurysm.
Wow.
And so, and she was a kiddo on the spectrum that was non-vocal. So she didn't speak a lot when she was little, but fascinating woman, and just really, really awesome mentor. I've read like the Beyond Behaviors book. I've got the flip chart, and I use it a lot in my parent trainings. So that's a wonderful book for parents to try to understand, you know, what's going on underneath that iceberg, and the behaviors that we don't see, and that the kid's not able to tell you,
Right.
I'm feeling this, right?
Right.
Because they just don't have the word for it, maybe.
Yeah, they're unable to verbalize it. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So then there's, that's where we talk about, okay, well, our brain develops in different ways at different times of our life, right? So
Right.
we can't expect a small child to like have these thinking and reasoning and problem solving skills, because this part of their brain is still under construction.
Right.
It's not fully developed. So back here, you've got your sensory processing, your amygdala, which controls, you know, those, you know, in the moment behaviors, your fight, flight, freeze responses, all that good stuff. And if these aren't talking to each other, then you're not going to get those good behaviors you want to see.
Right.
Because we've got to form them. Another thing that plays into our behaviors is adverse childhood experiences. So we have to realize too that some of these young toddlers and kids in elementary school, they were in the first 2 years of their life was in a pandemic, was in their home, in their safe space. So walking out into that world has to be scary to them in a way, right? Because all I know is my mom, my dad, or whatever was in my home. And we all had these masks on, so
Right.
I didn't see anybody's face. So it could look really scary to them. And that could be traumatizing, right? In and of itself. And trauma, as you know, and I really wanted to get into that too, but we're going to run out of time. It looks like trauma is something that is different for everybody. And I like to define trauma. There's a few different definitions that people have thrown out there, but basically trauma is something that happens where you are completely not in control, right? You don't have any control over what's happening. It's not an inconvenience. It's not it's not something like you got a flat tire, right? That's not trauma. It's an inconvenience because you can get your tire fixed.
Correct.
Right? But your arm gets cut off. That's trauma.
It's trauma.
It's trauma, right? So, but trauma is different for different kinds of people. But like I say, it's that not having the ability to control what's happening to you. And that could be very scary. So these are just really quick, some adverse childhood experiences. And the more of these that you have, so if you could like have a check mark, right? And go, yeah, I've had abuse in my past. I've had this. And then not only that, but your ancestors, right? The people before you, because you come from them.
Yes.
Trauma has to go somewhere. If it's not resolved, it's going to go somewhere.
Correct.
And it will surface in something. So what are the barriers to getting regulated, right? how come we can't calm down? How come we can't just get the kid to calm down? And going back to that control, why do we want to control? Why do we need the control, right? What is it about? So number one, usually when you're not in control, it's because you're perceiving something as a threat, or you're feeling unsafe, or whatever it may be. But the best thing to do, right, is to try to get that back into control. And it doesn't have to be, like I say, in the moment.
Right.
And it could be something as simple as just turning on a song, right?
Oh,
Like,
Taylor Swift.
For example, like this kiddo here. He's crying, right? No verbal skills. Instantly.
I needed Taylor Swift when I had little babies then.
Exactly. But it doesn't even have to be Taylor Swift. Like, sometimes music, just the rhythm, right? So you see, when a song comes on, don't you, like, in the supermarket, a song comes on and you
start singing.
You start
feeling
singing.
good. Yeah.
Just that movement, right? So if we're upset and we're angry, anger has to go somewhere,
right?
Because you get mad, what do you want to do? Like, I don't know, when you get upset, what's something that you do when you get upset?
I'm a cursor, so
you scream, yell,
I'm a cursor. Yeah, I go off. I wear my emotions on my sleeve.
Right? Some kids, they do the hand flapping. Mm-hmm. Some kids will bite.
And I'm good for this one.
Yeah.
I'm going off.
Yeah. So it's a matter of just redirecting that, right? And letting them know it's okay. It's okay to feel anger. It totally makes sense that you're angry. I would be angry too if somebody cut me off in traffic or stepped on my toes on purpose or whatever. I would be angry too. It makes sense. Let's be curious about that feeling, whatever it's feeling, and how we can redirect it. And then there's some strategies that I'll give you to here's some strategies. So top down, right? These are strategies that can be done, like mindful sharing. So these should be done when your child is calm, right? You have those one-on-one moments. So like this first one here, name something that's going well. Describe any emotion that you felt today, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes kids, they don't know the word for what they're feeling.
Correct.
So they could use any word, like blue. I feel blue today. Really? Wow, what does blue feel like? Tell me what that feels like, and be curious about it. This is going to get your kid to open up and want to talk to you more and develop that co-regulation, that safety. Like, you're my safe person that I can go to. So these ones are just some other things. And these strategies, I'll give another shout out, are from Ginger Healy's book, Regulation and Co-regulation. This is really good for the classroom. It's calming strategies and coping strategies. And they only take about 15 minutes, right? Some bottom up are the deep breathing. And this one I like to do the 5 senses. So having them pick out things that they can smell, touch, taste, and then have them be curious and let them tell you, give their experience about it. But not only that, it gets them focused on something other than their problem or whatever it is that's causing the dysregulation. And I'm going quickly now because I know we're at the hour moment. But Angry yoga. Angry yoga is fun too. Letting the kids know, hey, you want to get that angry out? Go ahead, shake, 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 shake the angers out. You know, let them know that that's a healthy way to do it. Move your body, right? Make a plan for next time if it happens. So, okay, what are we going to do next time we get upset? Let's make a plan, whether it's a calm space. And timeout should actually be a reward, not a punishment, right? I need my space. I need my time out to go calm myself. Like, get kids used to having that time out as a reward for them versus a punishment. Like, hey, you need some time to yourself to go, you know, get your wiggles out or your anger out or whatever. You need to go shout in a pillow or, you know, something like that. Let them realize that that's actually a reward and not a punishment.
Right.
And then back again to our vendor here. Just reminding people that it's about control, right? We always want to have control of our environment. And when we're not in control, you're going to see these behaviors come up in different ways. So we want to make a connection over compliance.
Right.
I don't want to shut you down. Your feelings are valid. And let's talk about them. And maybe in the moment is not the right time. And that's how you can maybe express that. Hey, I'm so willing to give you my time right now to talk about what's going on, but we need to, you know, do this right now or whatever, you know, but give them the option and let them know that you're still there. You're that safety person for them still. And that you also need your rest, your time, your medicine, your people, your community, your toolbox, right? Give yourself that time. And then perfection is never achieved alone, right? It exists collectively.
Right.
Nice things, good things, fun things don't happen with just one person. You know, it's no fun having a party by yourself.
Exactly.
Right? We want to bring everybody to the party. Let's see what we can do. So, you know, not judging, but sharing, right? Sharing everything. And then these are just all my resources that I shared with you. And that is my little presentation.
That was good. It was informative. You know, sometimes when I was a younger parent, I parented one way. And I parented out of a busy lifestyle, stress, single parent, you know, I felt like I needed control because it just makes my life easier. You know, now I don't know how them kids felt about it. They may come on here and tell you something different. I'm sure they would. But as I grew older and I had another child, I parent her a little different than I did my older kids because I feel not as stressed with her. The things I do with her, I wish I would have done with my older ones. I think that maybe a lot of the my disciplinary could have been easier because they when they became adults, they would say, you know, oh, you're so controlling. And I am, and it's because I had stuff to do. You know, we got to get done. I got things to do, but my life slowed down and it got calmer as I got older. I became immature. All that screaming and yelling and all that stuff, I just got tired of doing it. So I'm really with the younger one. Her experience is different than she's actually gets treated like the grandchildren. You know, she can pretty much do whatever. You know, she comes to me and talks and everything like that. So I think that sometimes when we look at parenting from a different perspective, it can give us some nuggets. I still, you know, I would not completely just toss out everything I learned growing up with my parents. It's not like they beat me all the time, but you know, the beatings that I did get, that I deserved. You know, and so I don't say take certain disciplines that I learned growing up completely out of the equation, but I wouldn't mind having the extra tools that I have as a older parent. I wish I had them as a younger parent, those tools. I just didn't know them.
Right. And that's exactly like, so we need to model, right? Model this for the younger generation. Hey, I didn't have those tools when I was younger, but you know what? You and I together, we're going to have toolbox. I'm going to make a toolbox and you're going to have a toolbox. And let's put different things in our toolbox that we learn from other people and other disciplines. Because like I say, we can't do it all by ourselves.
And not just that, when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
When you know better, you do better, you know?
Exactly.
So this was really good. I can't wait to bring you back on for schizophrenia. I think that you are very, you have a whole lot of knowledge. You do bring a different perspective to the podcast, to the show. This is my first time I've ever had someone bring a PowerPoint on to, you know, show information, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate you giving me your time. And yeah, I know it's almost your bedtime.
Yeah.
I know it's almost your bedtime, and I look forward to, you know, I look forward to having you back on, and I thank you so much for all of your information. Of course, we're going to be rooting for you to complete and be you. When you come back, you will be Dr. Jennifer Kelly.
I hope so.
You will be Dr. Jennifer Kelly. So I do appreciate you. I'm going to close out the show. Hold on one second. Don't leave me. Okay.
Okay.
All right, y'all. So I do appreciate you, all those that tuned in this evening. I so appreciate it. You guys know that my goal is to bring mental health awareness to as many people as I can. That's why I'm on this mission. I'm on a mission for mental wellness. I want you all to be well mentally, right? And myself too. So, you know, if you guys know the rules, I need you to subscribe, like, and share. That's the only way I can grow this thing. You know, we are right now in the community of 50 million podcasts going on. Everybody got one. But, you know, I'm ready to take mine to the next level, because I don't want to just be on here and be messy. And, you know, that's what I thought I was going to do, but that's not what I ended up doing. I really want to use this platform as a healing platform for people. You know what I say? I believe healing is in the conversations, and the only way for us to heal and grow is to let others come in and share their experiences. And maybe someone watching can resonate and realize, like, oh my God, if they can get through it, I can too. That is the goal of the show. So please, if you can, subscribe, like, and share. If you like to be a guest on the show, y'all know you can reach out to me. You could, this way I found Jennifer is through her cousin. I grew up with her cousin, and her cousin was like, hey, I got a cousin that's doing what you're doing, and I want her on your show. You need to meet her. So, you know, tell a friend, tell a cousin, tell a sister or brother, tell whoever you need to tell. If anyone would like to be a guest on the show, you know that you can reach out to me through all of my platforms. It's Mission for Mental Health on Instagram and on Facebook. You can email me. You can do whatever you need to do. Just tell a friend, call me. That girl hit me up in my messenger on Facebook. So trust and believe, I'm looking at all that. So if you ever want to be a guest, hey, let your girl know. We don't have a guest next week. I will be going live from the house because I have family in town. So I'm going to let my family jump on next week. If we have the time to get on and share and talk and say what they're thankful for and all that good stuff, I want you guys to have an awesome Thanksgiving and all that great stuff. The following week, I do have a show. I have, Jerome, I can't remember the name of your podcast, of your show just yet. But anyway, Jerome's going to be on. I got Jerome in the house. He will be on the following week. You know, hey, he's a blessing. He just fell in my lap. So he's going to be on to share his story and everything that he's doing to help you all get well. I watch him walk through the woods every day. So hopefully you guys will watch him walk through the woods too. So I will see you guys soon. You guys have a great week, and holla. Bye-bye.